thank you. For the actors, we always use non-professional, and but of course the people who've been working with us until I think they're professional for me. But for Uncle Boonmee, for example, he appeared in some commercials, Uncle Boonmee, but his regular job is a roof welder, and his ghost wife, she's the singer that I met in the bar. So always like this, I really involved in the film process from the beginning. Yeah, including looking for actors. We printed out the flyers, and I went to many places. And the guy with the older lady, actually he was in Tropical Maladives before, and the way I met him was in a discotheque. So this kind of thing that I love about movies, that it's not only that, but it's open a chance for you to interact. Yeah. So it's become like a diary of getting old together with the actor, and the world view, point of view, political view change, and we share. Yeah. So this kind of thing. And also, since the film talk about reincarnation, about how we remember, this is also have many reference to the past film. So it's like the character were reincarnated, in this film, and reunion in the end. Yeah, because the young girl is from the first film called Blissfully Yours, so they reunited. Yeah, yeah. And for the script, this film is quite according to the script because it has reference to classical style on TV, so there's a quite script and not so long take. It has a reaction shot. They have pretty classical style, so we have a script. Yeah.
In the back?
Would you say that the film is kind of a political warning to the people of Thailand? And at the same time, I was wondering, because there seems to be a kind of skepticism towards the image, towards the movie. Yeah, I was just wondering what you have to say about that, because there seems to be a double hate, some kind of double meaning towards your perception towards the illusion.
So your first question was whether it had any political warning to the people of Thailand, and the second one was that whether there was any kind of I suppose a double meaning for the image of illusion, the imagery of illusion.
Yes, political, because the film focused on the Northeast, and the film is part of the project called Primitive. So in Primitive project, there are many elements, many satellites surrounding this place called Northeastern, and that we, for the past 3 years, I spent time there, and what came out were installation pieces and short film and a book also. So they make, and also a series of photography exhibition, and feature film is part of it. It's the end of it. So when talking about this region, it's impossible not to touch on the political history. Yeah, but I didn't go too deep in this film. But for the installation part of this, it's in the same region, is heavily focused on political issue, on the violence that happened actually about during the 60s to the 80s. The area was very heated because of the occupation of the army to curb communism in that area. Yeah. And regarding illusion, yes, it's about cinema, and I think cinema is like our mind. It's a time machine. It's a tool to go back and to preserve memory also. So there's a link between this, how you remember this kind of thing. So I trace it back to the origin of cinema. Before there's cinema, there's a photograph. Before photograph can move. So there's many link to photography in the film and the way developing, and also in the scene of still photo. It's those photos that taken from the installation, and also dialogue also is from the installation part of it, and that in some of the photo you can see obviously references to Antonioni blow up, you know, the way the guy poses. That's about illusion, and also Chris Marker, of course, his future and primitive way of presenting the future.
We'll take this question and then. Yeah.
Hi. I really enjoyed the film, but I wanted to ask you a very specific question. I wonder whether you have watched Bruce Bailey's Quick Billy before. It's a 4-hour film, you know, 4-part film, somewhat like a discourse on cinema. Looking back, it's based on the Book of the Dead, Toro Bado, Tibetan Book of the Dead. There are different elements of cinema. You know, the last part is a relook at the Western in some way, and then in the early part, it's, you know, almost Stan Brakhage-like. So I really saw some similarities. I was wondering whether you've seen it or whether you were, you know, thinking about a similar discourse on cinema when you were making the film.
Yes, Bruce Bailey is one of the top master for me, because I actually been in touch with him, and I watch a lot of film when I study in Chicago. So obviously he has a big influence, and when I made Tropical Malady is a film in 2 parts, and a year later I went to LA, and the film in the archive show me Quick Billy, and I said, wow, this is Tropical Malady. This is you know, maybe it's the kind of subconscious thing, and yeah.
Hi. I watched other of your films, and what it feels that there's no hurry like in the pace of the editing, the way you structure the films, and you like to keep the frames sometimes very contemplative. I'd like to know, how do you work in the editing process, specifically in this film? How was it? How long did you take to cut the film?
It's taking, we cut along when we were shooting. So it takes actually about 2 months to edit after the film finished shooting. So it was very quick. Yeah. So I didn't even know how the film is. I don't know now, because it's true that there's a word that the filmmaker cannot experience his or her own film, because we know everything about when to cut and the background, how many takes to achieve this, so it's not fun for me. So yeah, so editing. So that's why I always use an editor, because he didn't have any attachment or background to.
What made you take this topic of death and afterlife and spiritual and experience? What made you to take this as subject as the film start story? And also, what inspired you? What is the main reasoning? Is it because Buddhism or some other religion, or your own thoughts on this? Your future of, the future of life and afterlife, what happens in spirits and others. What you're saying, is it from Buddhism or from other religions, or your own thoughts on this?